Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome, everyone. We have a special show for you today. I'm going to be here with a few gentlemen this morning as we're going to be sharing about their book that they wrote. But as I get started, and I realize I don't even have things set up. There we go. Oops. All right. So, welcome to our Prosper Partner and Prosper with God talk show. Uh, where me, your host, and the Holy Spirit, they should say, thank you, Father God. I am totally off my game this morning. Where we, that is me, in partnership with the Holy Spirit, will be helping you to partner and prosper with God personally, financially, and spiritually, all three without you having to sacrifice one for the other. As I mentioned, I have some guests here with me today with the book. The authors, or I should say, co-authors of the book Emerging Men. And before I get started, let me quickly introduce myself to those that are going to be seeing me for the first time. My name is Kileha. I am the CEO of Faith in Life and your spirit-led coach and business strategist. And here at Faith in Life, we believe that you deserve to make a profitable impact personally, financially, and spiritually, all three without you having to sacrifice one for the other. So this broadcast gets shown on both Facebook as well as YouTube. So depending on where you're tuning in from, I encourage you go ahead, click subscribe, follow, hit that follow button, and make sure to turn on your notifications so you get notified when we go live again. All right. And be nice, be good, be caring, share with your friends of influence. All right. So let us get started. I'm going to have these gentlemen quickly introduce themselves and share a bit about what they are doing in the world at large and what their book is about and how that is going to impact the people that they've called to serve. All right. Let's shift this up. There we go. All right. So, Sammy, I'll have you to start and go first. Can you let us know, introduce yourself, who you are, what it is that you do, and who do you serve specifically and why?
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Sammy Gonzalez. So glad to be on the show this morning with you all, and just really a blessing. I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, and again, my name is Sammy Gonzalez. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, um, and lived in Connecticut for about 20 years. And in 2009, end of 2008, beginning of 2009. My wife and my two children journeyed to Charlotte, North Carolina, for what we thought was going to be a very brief stay as I pursued my seminary studies. Um, and it's been about 13 years since then. So what we thought was going to be 3-4 years has turned into I'm a Charlatan now, I guess, and so I'm here. I am a pastor. I'm an ordained minister, and um, I serve as the pastor of Latino ministries at a Good Shepherd Church in Charlotte, North Carolina, and so I serve the whole community, but specifically to Spanish speakers, due to obviously large population here in Charlotte, and language being a barrier for some. Um, Felt like the need, and we, as a church, we felt the need that we could service this group of people, my people, right, in a much depth area in ways, with having a Spanish speaking ministry. And so every Sunday, every week, I'm here full time. I'm in the school system. I'm in soccer fields. I'm in parties. I'm in weddings. I'm in a little bit of everything involved. Wherever I can serve my community, that's where you will find me. And so, just really glad to be here today, and an opportunity to share with you all this book project, my first one. And so, really excited. I am a father. I'm a husband. My wife of 22 years. I'm an empty nester, and so a new journey in that area, learning how to be empty nesting, and just my wife and I have a 19-year-old daughter, second year at Furman University in Greenville, South Carolina, and my son, who's 21, just turned 21 last month, is I'm in the Marine Corps station in Georgia. So that's just a little bit about me. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you look way too young to be an empty nester. Did you start when you were what, 12, 10?
Yeah, something like that.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right. Ryan, I'm gonna add you. Same questions to you. Who is Mr. Ryan King? What do you do? Who do you serve? And why?
Well, my name is Ryan. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and specifically, well, first of all, I serve all people. Uh, it was, but my main focus at this time is boys and young men. But I have my hands in a lot of different things, serving various people. But and with that as well, it's just a lot of stuff that I'm just that I'm just doing at this time. And one of the things that I'm committed to doing is bridging the gap
Mhm.
amongst bridging the gap amongst the divisions of religion, culture, um, ethnicities, so so many other stuff as well that I'm doing. But my one of my main focus is the youth and boys and young men, and the reason being because I feel like there's a great need. And whenever there's a need, that's where I would like to be. And not only the need, as well as from my own experiences as a young boy, when it comes to being a mentor to boys and adolescent males, it's also bringing my own experiences as well and being relatable to them. So that's who I serve at this specific time.
Awesome. Oop, let me add myself back. There you go. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it definitely is a group of people that we need to pay close attention to. The young generation of tomorrow, right? After all, they're going to be the ones taking care of us. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to invite Ritu to share a little bit about himself, who he is, what he does, and who he serves, and why.
Thank you very much. I'm quite happy to be here.
Oops, sorry.
Live
Oops.
in Mongolia. I'm from Bangladesh.
Oh,
Studied and work in Singapore. After that, I came to Mongolia. My main focus group of serving the young students, young professionals, as well as the professional who like to be professional accountant. I serve in the university to help them to become professional accountant. After they complete their examination, I do help them also to become full member as a form of their CPA journey. As my CPA journey training, I also help them to provide your coaching, their coaching sector. Coaching is their way of reaching their goal. And in the focus part, I try my best to help their spatial part to overcome this fear of exam and try to do their best. For that, I feel very privileged. I actually have seen many people's personal development through their new professional career. Hence, I keep doing this job and I have been providing as many people I possibly could in my available time to reach their next level of growth, professional growth, by having a new professional qualification called as CPA of USA, as well as ACCA of United Kingdom. So that's all about me. Thank you very much.
awesome. Awesome. All right. So let's talk about your book. What, um, why did you guys write it? what it was about. Yes, there you go. Show it off. Show it off. I can see. There we go. Emerging men. Yes. So please share a little bit. Anyone can jump in to share and just share a little bit of what the book is about. And then for yourselves individually, why did you agree to write this book?
I guess I'll keep it going.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was sharing with you just before going live that this is my first writing project, and for me it was challenging, a lot more challenging than what I thought it would be. As a pastor, as a minister, I write weekly. I write my sermons and devotionals and such things like that for local, for the church, etc. And I share it between whether it's Facebook and that sort of thing. But writing this book was definitely a challenge in itself, just because it was so focused, it was so driven by a great vision. First of all, the visionary author Tara Hall, exceptional leader. I've known Tara since 2003. She was my first supervisor back in Connecticut,
Right.
and at the Department of Children and Families, where I worked as a social worker. And so she and I had known each other for a long time. And so she was an incredible leader. I'm sure that the rest of the guys can attest to that. But her vision was to inspire, to continue to inspire people. And in this case, she wanted to do something with men, in which, in general in society, we know that men are not necessarily encourage, or we don't even encourage ourselves at times, right?
Mm,
To speak out, to be
mm,
vulnerable, share our stories,
yeah.
which we all do. We all have a story. And so this was a compilation of 6 stories of 6 different men. We represent half of that group, diverse, multi-ethnic, multicultural, rich in history,
Mhm.
and it's such a beautiful, beautiful canvas of life, and it's really such a blessing. And in my particular chapter, it was entitled "Will You Answer the Call?" I was inspired to, as Tara sort of laid out the vision for us, um, to share a little bit of my story. And it was a story of faith. It was a story of really taking a step into the unknown. And so I won't give it all away, but in that chapter, I share 3 main stages where I particularly went through in discovering, answering my call and purpose, right? And so we all have a purpose. We all been called for something,
Yes.
and it's a matter of discovering. And life is about discovering and rediscovering. Because even at 43, I heard my calling. I knew it. I heard it when I was 15 years old, and so here I am at 43, still working and evolving into that purpose. And so my chapter is again, it talks a little bit about 3 particular stages that I went through that helped me figure out, that helped me walk
Mhm.
into and step into, with boldness, with faith, into what I believe God was calling me to do. And so with that, it's not just roses and pretty stuff, as we all know.
No.
The journey comes with struggle. The journey comes with sacrifice. The journey comes with, um, again,
Yes.
stepping
Yes.
into the unknown, right? And so I talk a little bit about what that looked like for me. And so I hope that the reader, I hope that my message just reaches those who are perhaps still searching and seeking. How do I get there? I know I want to do something. I know I have to do something, but how do I get there? What are some steps? What are some of my fears? Confronting fears, right? Within the process, and hopefully inspiring somebody to
Mhm.
understand that there's that maybe they share the same steps as I did, and maybe they don't. But in the end, it's still getting to the end, getting to figure out what the purpose is and what the calling is for each and one
Yes.
of our lives. And so that's what I hope that the reader gets from my story. It's a snippet of what God has done in my life, and again, how we respond to our calling eventually determines who we become. And so I just hope that someone can kind of gather and figure out, hey, what's my story? What does my story look like, and what do I need to do to fulfill and to reach and to answer the call that I have in my life.
Amen. Woo. Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. Who would like to go next and share why their purpose of writing the book, or co-authoring it, I should say? Mean too, do you want to go ahead? You're muted. There we go.
All right. Yes, let's do that. Yes. In my chapter of the book, I started talking about the journey I had to become a CPA of UK. And this journey was a lot of ups and downs since my beginning. The country I'm from, it's one of the poor country in Southeast Asia. So we had a lot of difficulties. So one of the monsoon day, I had to go to the exam and try to appear this exam. However, on the way, there was a specific accident. And after 2 months, I had to wait to receive my result, and this result came up very bad, which is called as simply failed. As you know, entire society have this negative connotation of failing means you lost everything. In fact, it's the pivotal point of your life. You realize yourself a new person, and that is the point you need to discover and jump into next level of your life growth, where many of us in our life journey we had many such bumps, ups and downs, so many difficulty. But if we just stay in that moment forever, then we never able to overcome that fear, that
Oh.
special problem. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to trust and believe with that our faith to our journey of the dream continuously moving forward. And that's what
Yes.
I had done in my
Yes.
whole journey of the next 3 4 years. Not only the country, but also I traveled to other country like Singapore and followed there, also came to China and Mongolia. And finally I reached my goal, and through that goal journey I believe this has to be shared, this has to be given, this knowledge to the young generation, because I have seen many young of my students, once they fail in any exam, they tend to give up, but they don't
Mm,
understand there are so many things they are learning through
mm,
this journey of failing. So I
yep.
started training them how my failure given me more knowledge and motivation to pivot forward, instead of just step back and then keep crying. Of course you can cry a few minutes and then you should move forward. And that's what my inspiration to write down this book and try to bring this whole story to the young generation, tell them failing is very normal in the journey of
Yes.
any big career you are pursuing, but you need to be very, very courageous to take action forward.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
And they had to do it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And through this whole process of journey and everything I do, I keep inspiring this whole young generation never to give up, because if they give up they will never able to win, right? So they have to
Mm-hmm.
take action. So this
Yes,
action
yes.
oriented special focus story I place to share in my book, and I want young generation to keep getting certain knowledge from it. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Good stuff. Love it. Awesome. And yourself, Brian, what is your purpose for writing this book?
My purpose is, first, I had a desire to write, to get back into writing. Because as I shared earlier, I think it was before the broadcast, so let me share this part again. I had some experience with writing with the New School newspaper at my school. I believe it was Lakewood High School. Okay, I went to two high school. That's why I had to think about it. So at Lakewood High School with the Lancers newspaper, as well as with another newspaper, LA Youth, where it was a community newspaper, but it was distributed to different schools in Los Angeles County. And so I had a desire to write, and then others was saying, a few others have told me, you know, I was encouraged me to write a book, and based on the posts that they see on my Facebook, and I said, okay, maybe I should take this opportunity on. When I seen the advertisement saying immersion, looking for authors who are men to write about different topics. And I said, like that kept on drawing me. And I was thinking, I said, wait a minute, should I do, is this the time to do this now? Or because I had other things I was focused on. And so I just went along like what Mr. Sammy said. I almost call you Reverend Sammy.
You can just call me Sammy.
Reverend Sammy said that it's just to go by faith. And that's what I did. I took the leap of faith to say, yes, I'm going to take this on, especially since it was just a chapter. I said, just to get my feet wet, so to speak. Yes. So I said, let me see what this is all about. And the chapter came about because I wanted to free people. Yeah. I wanted to be an instrument to free people based on freeing myself. And as I continue to free myself and break different barriers, more so within myself than more internal barriers. So I want to free people. So the chapter that I wrote is called Freedom to Be. And it's freedom to be, learning how to have freedom to be just exactly who we are. Outside of the labels that was put on me, being in special ed, diagnosis of major depression, with psychotic features, and all these different labels. Those specifically those two dealing with mental health and special ed, and as well as the label of gay, because I being attracted to man. So then I had that label on top of me, and then being a Christian, so I had that label on top of me as well. So I had all these labels as I was beginning to navigate to figure out who I am. Who is Ryan? Outside all these labels, outside of the label of Christian, gay, special ed, major depression, psychotic features, all these different labels that was put on me. So I said, who is Ryan? So I had to get to the root of who I am, and it was on a journey to find my freedom in relationships, religion, education, career. So I had to find my gifts. I had to find who I was. And one thing I know who I am is a man of service. So one thing I had to get back to that, get to the man of service. No matter what people may think of me, of being attracted to men, at the same time, I'm still a man of service. So I had to get myself out of the box, no matter what the environment I was placed in the specific time of my life. I had to know that I am intelligent, because I had all these ideas in my mind that I would write on paper. I have written songs, and other different things. I have copied a format from a script from when I went to a taping of Moesha, and that was given to me, and I received that and used that same format to write a play. So I knew there was more. There was I was intelligent. There was something in me. So I had to find that freedom in knowing that and building that confidence and being authentic with who I am. Um, so with so with all those specific labels, yes, that's a part of who I am, but that's not all of who I am. So that's the key part. It's a part of my experiences, but it's not all of my experiences.
Yes, yes.
So I want to put this in a book to let them know, let others know, whoever read it, just be free, find the freedom to be who you are. Um, find a freedom to maybe go off a little bit and just I posted something on my stories. It was a message by Bishop T.D. Jakes, and if I can remember correctly, he said sometimes you have to be tired of staying inside of the lines when it comes to coloring. Uh, you had to be tired of
Mhm,
being the good boy and eating an apple and going to bed.
mhm,
Had to be tired of just be tired. Just had to just follow along. So I chose to not follow along what people were saying that I had to be this way, be limiting myself because of this and that. But I chose to step out on faith and go against the odds, so to
mhm.
speak. So sometimes you have to be freedom to be. You can still be exactly who you are. That's the message. Be exactly who you are and still live a victorious life.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to ask just a couple of questions, different questions to each of you, and to wrap it up a little bit. So I'm going to start with you, I mean, too. I want to know, how would you like this book to impact other people?
Thank you for this question. I really like to pass this book to my future generation, especially emerging boys who are going for different challenges in their life. And these specific challenges, obviously, they had to believe this challenge someone had been gone through earlier, and this challenge is part and parcel of their whole journey. And this journey is not just beginning, it's just a part of this whole journey to reach their goal or dream. So the dream they had to nurture, and they have to take action, even if some spatial problem is small or big, or some hindrance came in, they had to believe they're able to overcome that, and they're able to reach their goal, because God give us power to navigate ourselves and reach our goal with full of faith and destiny. So we just need to nurture that faith. We just need to take action. And I just wanted to have that a specific message to young generation, and they also need to believe they were never alone. They
Mm,
had the someone earlier had that same path like them, and if they can reach their goal, they also could definitely able to reach and use that path to reach their final destination, the dreamland they are looking for. Because every individual, every young boy has certain dream in their subconscious as well as conscious mind. So that dream they need to consistently pursue entire career until they reach. Of course, after reaching, they may have another new dream. Please
mhm.
focus next dream, because life is full of dream. Please pursue it. That would be my message for the emerging boys.
Good
Thank you.
stuff. Good stuff. Awesome. All right, my next question is for you, Ryan. Who would most relate to this book? and why?
I would say who will most relate to this book is not only men and not only boys, but those who are willing to open up their minds, have an open mind and an open heart to allow the inspiration of and the transformation of hope, inspiration, and purpose to take place in their life, to allow the seeds of that to be planted in their lives from the stories that have been written in this specific book, Immersion Men. So just because just because man is at the end of immersion, it doesn't mean that only men can relate to these stories or only boys can relate to these stories. Anyone can find something from this and be inspired, be filled with hope, and be filled with purpose.
Yes, yes, good stuff. Awesome. All right, and my final question is to you, Sammy. What are the key things that you want people to take away or know, and why?
Yes. Key things is Mintu mentioned something, and I'm going to echo a little bit of that. Is that you're not alone. You're not the only one, and therefore understanding that there were people prior to you, and understanding also that there will be people after you. And so the importance of ourselves, right? Each individual understanding that there was someone before and there will be someone after. And so your role is important. And what you do will set a standard for those who come after you. And so key things is keeping the faith, is having faith, and not just having faith. Here's something that I don't want to start preaching, but here's something that I think a lot of people struggle with. They have faith, they just don't know how to put faith into action. And so there's two, those are two different things. I can have faith and just sit back and allow, like even Ryan was saying, allow the what people say and the labels, and I can have faith, but just allow those things to completely consume me and tie me back from pursuing who I am, from freely pursuing who I am. And so it's having faith and putting faith into action and seeking out, how do I discover, again, I use that word quite a bit, how do I discover who I was created to be and why? Right. And so as you, and again, 3 steps: listening, that I share in there, listening to the calling, being attentive, accepting it, understanding, listening, understanding it, and finally accepting it. Right. So listening, understanding, and finally accepting it is what will lead you, hopefully, to making that bold step and taking that step of the step of faith into living into what you've been called and created to be and to do. And so I hope that those are some of the key things that I hope that my chapter encourages people to look back and to, even if they find themselves right now, think about, be attentive, figure out what's happening in your life, where do you want to be, and put that faith into action so that you can live out what God created you to be, in the way that brings glory and honor to Him. And so, and as you do, again, as you do, you honor those who come before you, who struggled, who went through it, who sacrificed themselves so that you could understand it. And at the same time, you're doing the same thing for that next generation. Because I guarantee you there will be someone else. There will be someone else, whether it's your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors, your nephew, your niece, someone in your life, or someone that I hope this book, right, that reaches people that we didn't even know were out there, that someone after us will look back and say, hey, if he went through this and he figured it out, I can too. And so just be inspired to to rediscover and discover and continue to rediscover what our purpose is, because we all have one. It's just a matter of putting that faith into action, not just holding on to faith, but putting it into action and stepping into it with boldness, with encouragement, knowing that you're going to struggle, knowing there's going to be hard times. But again, you're not alone. Someone went through it before you, and they went and they got it. They figured it out. And if they did it, you can too.
Yes, 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 yes. You guys are ringing a lot of things that I myself speak about a lot. The whole faith in action. Yes, because you can believe all you want, but if you don't demonstrate that faith, nothing is going to change. Nothing's going to happen for sure. Yes, yes. And all about understanding that failure does happen.
Absolutely.
But it's for a season. Everything's for a season. You're going to go through times when you're like, I am not getting anywhere. But then you're going to go through times, yes, everything's going great. And then that's going to end. And then you're going to go back into another season. So accepting that and going forward and just pursuing your purpose. Pursue your purpose, right? Don't let yourself be limited by what the boxes that people try to put you in or have labeled you as. No, see the one. Like my goal is I'm going to put on blinders. I'm just gonna look, Father, who do you say I am? What do you want me to do? What is our purpose? What's my purpose? What is our vision? Right? And go from there, right? Because we know that everyone's gonna have their opinions.
Right.
But you don't have to accept them, right? No. The only one that you need to listen to is your Father, your Heavenly Father, right? So oh my goodness. Thank you, gentlemen. This has been great. You guys have, just, demonstrated again over and over the key things that we need for anyone. This is not just for emerging men, for men to emerge. This is for emerging women, right? Emerging youth. Yes. So these are key examples. And if you know anyone in your sphere of influence, I encourage you to get this book for them as a gift. Give them to it. Want a copy for yourself and read it so that you can also be inspired by other people's stories, and hopefully that inspires you to go after your dream and your purpose in life. All right. And with that, I want to thank everyone. I'm going to have the gentlemen as well afterwards put their information in the chats on the Facebook so that it's easier for people to get a hold of you. But anything else, if you have questions, by the way, or you want to share some key takeaways, please share those and leave them in the comments, and they will definitely come back and respond to you. And again, thank you for showing up and being here. Be sure to go ahead and share this broadcast with anyone in your sphere of influence that can benefit from it. All right. So thank you, guys. This has been amazing. Awesome.
Thank you.
So I'll see you guys. Well, actually, I'm going to have another show on tomorrow. It's a special edition show. But thank you, gentlemen, for being here. And thank you all that were tuning in and engaging with us this morning. Till then, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.